You guys see that weird ice cream man today?
What do you mean weird?
He just kept popping up, like he was following me. Is everyone sick or something? Marcella!
Back to your classroom. What is going on here?
Hello, everyone. I want to welcome to the Awards Tour podcast. We're here today with award-winning director, Mr. Eli Roth.
Hello.
Glad to have you here.
Nice to be here. It's fun. It's my first time on the podcast.
I know.
Cool.
First of all, I'm very glad to talk to you about Ice Cream Man, but I do think it is so funny that this is born out of drunken nights in Vegas, basically. We're walking and seeing people crossing each other at CinemaCon where you were unveiling this crazy project.
Right, but I don't think it was, I mean, for us, it was just like work where you're sort of like salmon that kind of pass each other in this stream of like running from one thing to the next. And I had just met with all the theater chains.
Yeah.
And kind of shown, I guess it was like 2.5 minutes or the trailer. But we did the stunt at CinemaCon where we set up the ice cream truck and handed out ice cream. And we were the only ones stunting at CinemaCon. Everyone else was so like, oh, we're doing our presentation in the theater, but we had no money. So we set up an ice cream truck and standees. We couldn't even afford actors of like the bloody kids and the ice cream man. But everyone's like, oh, this is a fun photo.
They went so viral and everybody
crazy.
was like, what is Eli Roth doing? So allow me to be one of those people. Tell me a little bit about, because not only is this your next feature, but you're going about the production, the release in a very different way.
Yeah, completely different. This is the first real big feature from my new company, The Horror Section. And what makes it different is first we let fans invest. So we had 2,400 investors that put money in. So if the movie hits, they all get a piece of it. But we're sort of doing what Terrifier did, which is working with Iconic and self-releasing it. We're putting it out in 2,000 theaters. And we're doing it unrated.
Yeah.
And every time I've made a horror movie, there's always at some stage people go, you can't do that, or cut that, or cut that. And like, I completely respect the MPA. I've had a great relationship with them.
Lots of conversations,
Lots of conversations, it's all good. But for Ice Cream Man, this has to be like, not just my goriest, most violent film. I want it to be one that's in the Pantheon of like the all-time craziest movies ever made. And I don't want to see the R-rated version. I want the unhinged, unrated director's cut. So we're putting that in theaters.
Yeah. And I love how you're approaching this because I'm somebody could remember back in the dark days of before, like when people were talking about things like Hostel on message boards.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is almost a return to those days because that was also just, I felt like, I want to say like gonzo cinema in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's gonzo, but it also, there's a little bit of danger to it. Like I miss those movies when it started with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Last House on the Left, but Cannibal Holocaust, Faces of Death, they're movies like, should I be watching this?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to see this?
Audition,
Audition is one, and I think Terrifier 3 really got that. And Damien Leone, all respect to him, and you know what their whole team did. It's an incredible series, but it felt like it had that danger. Like you're not supposed to see it, and there's things in this movie that are so crazy, or sick, or insane. But I also wanted to do something that's fun. I wanted a summer movie. I wanted a popcorn movie. I wanted to like just turn your brain off and chop your head off kind of movie.
Yeah, and let's dive into it. I mean, listen, we're not going to pull any punches. There's a little bit of blood.
There may be blood.
There may be blood. That's the Paul Thomas Anderson. There may be blood, but more importantly, it's taking this very Americana iconography, which is something that you've done. I mean, this is the man that made Thanksgiving. Like you just really love taking the most wholesome moments and then
skewering them,
dialing it up. But what about, I think ice cream is something even more. It's kind of like the milkman. It's this person that shows up in your neighborhood, but almost Pied Piper-y. Talk about why this lended itself so well to horror.
Well, you got it. I mean, it's definitely a Pied Piper story. The little girl is named Piper. The teacher's name is Mr. Hamlin. The other one is named Mr. Browning. So there's all kinds of like Pied Piper of Hamlin references in the movie. But, you know, I grew up in that. I got to grow up in the kind of 80s Spielberg suburbs outside of Boston. And I remember in summertime, it was riding around your bike and, you know, just getting into little fights with other kids and dramas and like, you're dead this fucking summer, we're gonna kick your ass. And you're like, oh no, like, you know, almost getting an argument and doing jumps in your dirt bike. So I wanted a movie that started like Bad News Bears or felt like a Joe Dante movie or, you know, had that kind of Amblin feel to it that turned into The Birds and just turned really dark and crazy. But also you can see the mix of Invasion of the Body Snatchers in there. And there's even like I was like, oh, it's Saving Private Ryan with children. Like I wanted a movie that was just like almost like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
But it really is, there is something about ice cream that is so wholesome and so sweet. And being a new father to a 16-month-old, beautiful daughter, there's something there's terrifying that you can't, this thought that you can't protect your kid from what is going to get into their mind, that no matter what you do, they're going to see something on YouTube, something could just come and infect their brain and turn them against you. There's a very primal fear of that as a parent. Like, you can't fully protect your child. No matter what you do, the world is going to get to them somehow. All you can do is prepare them and hope for the best. But the image of the ice cream man, I had this idea, my God, it was after Cabin Fever. It's almost 23, 24 years ago, where I was just picturing this ice cream man like out of a Norman Rockwell painting, this wholesome person smiling and just giving the kids ice cream, they eat it, and the kids just go crazy and start killing all the adults. Wow. So it's something that there's this inherent trust we have with ice cream men and milkmen. They're okay, and children flock to them. And there was something very perverse about the violation of that trust.
I mean, there's a lot of perverse things about this movie. Let's go ahead and put it. Even if you want to call it pervosity, I would just consider it where you want to go to, like, whatever the line is, waving back at it. Like, I feel like this movie goes for it. But you said
I said there's a line, and then I would cross it and then cross it and cross it and obliterate it to the point where you forget there even is a line.
That's actually the thing that I was like, when I was getting to the end of it, I was kind of like, where can this go? And then I was like, I don't even want to know, because if I think about it, it would be more disturbed. But you say that it's kids saving Private Ryan. What's your Omaha Beach scene for you then? Because there's
the playground attack. The playground attack. I mean, the movie starts controlled. I like when movies lose control, and I did that in Green Inferno, where it starts very controlled in New York City, and then they get to the village, and it's like we're off the tripods. It's out of focus. Main characters are half in and out of frame. It feels like you're in some kind of grimy Mondo documentary film. But for this, I really framed it like I shot it. Scope. I wanted beautiful primary colors. I wanted the green grass. I wanted like blue and white uniforms, the blue and white ice cream truck. I just wanted the memories of childhood. You know, the riding your bike, the kids this one's in a red shirt, that girl's in a white, white blouse. This wears blue, like really almost like Romper Room, or shooting it like Pee-wee's Playhouse, where it's beautiful primary colors. But then the kids eat the ice cream and it all turns. And it starts to turn into like the first 20 minutes of Philip Kaufman's Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where something's wrong. And like, I had this image of a little girl walking to school in her bunny slippers and bloody pajamas and a lunchbox, carrying her mother's head to school. Like, I just, thinking about that, like, you're just driving down the street and seeing, because they couldn't kill every adult, so there's still people that don't really know what's happened yet. But and then when it goes unhinged, it just starts to get more handheld and more out of control. And then these three kids, I love in movies the dynamics of, like, I don't know if it's Bad News Bears or Little Darlings, or a film where there's a bunch of kids. The summer camp movies have this. Sandlot, where the kids hate each other, or they're friends, or there's different friendship groups, and two or three people, they don't like each other, they don't know each other, but they have to team up and become friends to figure out what's going on. So, because all of their best friends have eaten the ice cream. So all of these little dramas stop. It's like the infected versus the uninfected. But then, the Omaha Beach, I was literally thinking of Spielberg when he said, now we're going to make it to the wall. So it's okay, you're going to start at the wall, you're going to make it to the cop car. Now the cop car under the slide. I mean, we had to shoot it in half a day. I mean, I had 100 children shooting. I mean, it was like you have 15 stunt people. This is my 10th feature film, and it took all 10 movies to prepare for this, because there was so much planning involved, but you're dealing with children. And I was a camp counselor when I was 16, really? 17, 18. Yeah, I was in charge of, like...
That is so funny. That's why you're so dark.
Yeah. It's the best training for directing is being a camp counselor.
I would
not
imagine,
film school, because you have to, like, get ready for swimming, change, you got archery, and look, I know he took your cookie, but I'm going to give you an extra cookie. But we're in the secret cookie club, so don't tell him I'll give you the
fact
cookie.
That I know you're talking about actors right now without saying it.
Dude, you are. I mean, I'll tell you, if you were a camp counselor or you were a babysitter, you'll be a fantastic director, because those skills are right there. So doing both with the kids, like I had 100 children. They're like covered in blood. We're playing tetherball at the head. They're playing jump rope with intestines. And it's 100 degrees in a heat wave. And there's stunt people. One guy with like pencils in his eyes. And he's like, they're going to get like pulled off like by the children. The children are doing the stunts with the stunt people. And I'm like, and you got to break them every 45 minutes.
I was just about to say, you've added so much complexity to this whole thing when you decided, no, we're going to use real kids. Like, we're not going to do little people. We're going to like commit to...
No, it's all children. No, it's because I want to see the kidpocalypse, and you've got to really do it. Unless you're really doing it, you're not going to believe it. So I've like Steve Newber and his team doing amazing makeup effects with the gore and the blood, and with 45 minutes. So every 45 minutes, you got to break the kids, send them back to holding. So it's 100 degrees, so you have like 3 minutes to get your shot. So I was like, roll camera, action, and the kids aren't moving. I was like, action, guys, let's go, guys, action, this is it. And one kid like has his hand up, and I was like, yes. And he's like, my shoe's untied. And I was like, go ahead, we'll wait, no problem. And he was like, and I go, yes. And everyone's watching, all the parents, he goes, where's my mom?
Oh,
and I was like, he doesn't know how to tie his shoes. He was too young. He was like 6. And I'm like, can someone, and the lead, and Shiloh plays, I was like, I got it. Like, and he's like, great, action. Boom. I mean, then we have a scene where the ice cream man shows up at school and all the kids are supposed to be zombified. So they're in their ice cream makeup and, we had to make ice cream cones that were made out of cake frosting so that they wouldn't melt. But you had to tell the kids, like, please, like,
don't
be careful.
It.
Like, you can eat it, but it's 8:45 in the morning. It's gonna be, so of course the kids are like, so nothing you can do about that. But we had to, line up all the kids and, 1 minute to get the shot. And they're just like walking like zombies. And I was like, action. And one bee came along. And the kid's like, a bee! Gone, scattered.
Everything's done.
The bee is directing your set. Like it's that, but also you can go, okay, who wants to do a blood angel? They're like, me. The kids were so into it. And they were like, sir, would you like me to have more blood? I'm like, would you like more blood? They're like, yeah. And then they were just covered in gore, and the parents were like, this was the best day of my child's life. It was like Halloween and Christmas all in one.
You gave them bloody Disneyland.
That's exactly what it was. They didn't want to stop. I mean, you didn't have to direct them. Once you put out the guts, like I had headless bodies that would pump blood like underneath a teeter-totter. Within 2 seconds, girls were like just bouncing, squirting the blood, laughing. I'm like, save the blood for the take. I'm like, who? And then when we smash, there's a teacher looking through the microscope, and the kids take the book and smash his head. So we have like a dummy head that's going.
By the way, he's telling you all of these amazing scenes of the movie. I was trying to like leave mysteries.
No, there's so much. I feel like so I'm talking about stuff that's in the trailer, but also like you can't. People said the trailer.
No, you really can't. That's fair.
You can't over-describe this movie.
Fair.
The trailer is just the tip of the cone.
That's
like just
the tip of the cone. That's so
the kids, like one girl's like, I was like, oh, maybe someone wants to get hit with blood, and the girl's like, I'll do it. And this girl with glasses. I'm like, okay, can you guys just have no reaction? And they're like, yeah. So we're like 3, and we just blast them in the face with blood. And they stand there, and they're like, and then you play it back, and they're like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. It was so much fun. And even the parents, like they all watch Walking Dead. The kids have seen the Terrifier movies. But now they can say, now we can actually watch this stuff with their kids and say, like, see how fake it is, see how, It was great energy on set. But we shot this thing fast. It was like, this was the craziest, tightest schedule I've ever been on in my life.
And I think it's interesting too, because you said that like, it's your 10th feature, but everything sort of like prepared you to get here. I want to talk to you about the influence of Ice Cream Man, but I feel like it's such a great segue to talk about the other things in your career, because when I was watching it, the thing I was thinking about is like, again, like, it just seems like, I don't know where these ideas come into your head, but once they come into them, you just make them so dark. Because I think about the journey of the Ice Cream Man, I think about the journey from Hostel, and I think about like the journey from like Thanksgiving. It's like safety, hospitality, Americana, and you're like, let's make it awful. Let's make it dangerous. Why do you think that you have such a, I don't know, that sort of sweet, salty love between the two?
It's a good question. Because I grew up in such safety, and maybe it's because my dad was like a psychoanalyst and was just so open about stuff and the darkness of humanity. I understood the difference between reality and art, and understanding that movies are magic tricks. And my mother's a painter, and my parents really gave us a very strong film education and upbringing. We watched everything. So when I watched a gore movie, I didn't think it was real. I thought like, oh, that's where the makeup goes, and how did they do that effect? It's like a magician sawing someone in half. And what I saw growing up really was the safety of the suburbs, and kids leaving the suburbs and taking that safety with them, thinking they're going to be protected. That they want to go as far away for adventure as possible, but when you get outside the city, I'm very interested in clash of cultures. Mm-hmm. And when you have the people that are from kind of the protected world of college education that go into the country and meet, what they see as hillbillies and country bumpkins, they think they're smarter than them, and then they need those people for help, and now you have to apologize to that guy you talk down to. Yeah. I'm really interested in that dynamic. And the Americans that think, well, our money can buy us whatever we want. Well, what if someone else has more money than you? Like, what's the dark side of that? What if you get in a room and your money doesn't matter?
Yeah.
They want to know what it feels like to kill you. So, and then Thanksgiving, it was about this holiday where we're supposed to be thankful for what we have, that just, the Black Friday sale became the midnight, the 11:59, the 8 o'clock, and suddenly, I was watching these videos online of like the gate going up, and people's Thanksgiving is just turned into, this battle royale for waffle irons. So that's where that came from. And there was something, I like to think of absurd things, but there's something very truthful in it. So while I don't think ice cream is going to turn kids into like, murderous lunatics, there is something terrifying about how you just have this contract with someone that can come into your neighborhood and just give kids ice cream. And that can be a metaphor for whatever you want, for something that comes into your community and affects everything.
It's interesting too, this film has an incredible cast. They were so interesting to watch get bloodied and gored and do everything. But when I was looking through your filmography, this is nothing new for you. You're actually an early adopter of some of the biggest names that we've seen. And you were like one of the first people to like showcase them. And I'm just gonna give a few. So we talk about Dave Bautista, you casting him before people
Man with the Iron Fist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I tried to put him in other things and people said, we're not putting a wrestler. I'm like, I think Dave's like, he's a star as a wrestler, but I was like, he's a brilliant actor.
Which now we've seen. People have seen, you know, him with Denny's movies and so many other ones. Also, Ana de Armas in Knock Knock.
Anna spoke no English. That's her first English. Anna learned English phonetically for the movie and for her behind the scenes. I mean, she was so serious and so committed. And she had done Spanish language films. She'd been living in Spain. She'd gone from Cuba to Spain, and then she'd come over. And like we got her, but when she literally spoke no English, and I was like, she's going to be a star. We knew it.
And killed it with Keanu Reeves. Also another moment where you took something that seemed like a dream and turned it into a nightmare. Two young girls showing up at your door.
It's the fear of marriage. It's the fear of marriage. That you have this beautiful house that's protected, and again, you let something in for temptation, and it spirals out of control.
I was going to say, but then Thanksgiving, the two I want to highlight on this, although you could highlight anyone from that one, is Jalen, who you got before he did, you know, Warfare, before The Pit, and now he's on Off Campus. And also, and I think I even told you this, when I saw Addison Rae get cast, maybe I'm like some of the people you had to convince. I was like, what is this? And she killed it. Like she's serious. She gives Drew Barrymore a run for her money as far as like what you can do with that type of role. Do you know what I mean? So talk about those two, putting them in Thanksgiving, which was another huge, I think, unexpected for some people, obviously not for you, hit for you in your career.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it was great. I mean, look, we spent, from the time I made the fake trailer to the movie, it was a long time. So I had a lot of time to think about it. And I didn't want to make a joke movie. I wanted it to be a real movie that you could put alongside, you know, Halloween or Scream or any of my favorite whodunit slasher films. But we had, you know, Patrick Dempsey, an incredible cast. But the great thing about horror and genre films is you can find new stars and give people breaks, as you're seeing, you know, Obsession or anything that's coming out now, is that the scare is the star, so that you can take an Ana de Armas. You can find Nell Verlaque, who is starring in, you know, a show with Kevin Kline and Laura Linney now, and you put her as the lead of the movie. Addison, who had a film that was not well received, that people said there was a stigma against casting her. Don't cast a TikTok star. I was like, no, she's a serious talent. Yeah. And I'm not going to put her as the Nell role, as the lead of the film, but I said, if you can come in and kill this, you're rewriting the books. Then you're going to get the leads from this. Just show up and be great. And she was an absolute pleasure to work with, and she was amazing and killed it in every scene. And then, you know, Tommaso is on with, now they're also on the other Amazon show. I'm blanking.
Off Campus.
No, and then it's not Off Campus. It's the one that Charlie XCX produces. I'm blanking on the name of it. But yes, the Jalen Thomas Brooks I thought was fantastic. I loved his look. Yeah. And I like to cast people that have different physical attributes. Like, I get confused the first time I see a movie. I go by hair color. I mean, the blonde one, like, I really do. Like, I don't always automatically remember characters' hair or faces. I'm like, wait, wasn't that actor? Like, I mix it up. So you're like, oh, she's torn between the two boys, Milo Manheim and Jalen. And they're both like great looking guys, but they're very different types. So you could see, like, it's easier for me in a movie to track people. So I like to have a nice, you know, a really good looking, interesting cast. And I always cast by who do I want to, it's not like who's the best looking or who's the best actor. It's what are they going to do next? That's like the guiding principle. And I do think 90% of directing is casting. And Ice Cream Man was terrifying because you're putting the movie in the hands of children. And I didn't want kid acting. I didn't want a scene where they're like, we got to stop. I was like, you know, I can't do it. I need kids like, what the fuck's going on? Like, real. And they were incredible. Charlie Zeltzer, Shiloh O'Reilly, and Kiri Mirza-Waldman. They're serious actors. And Shiloh was in Thanksgiving. When the turkey gets decapitated, he goes, ah! And I needed a kid to just scream. And 30 kids came in and screamed. I was like, I really like this kid. And then he came in and read. I was like, oh, he was in Thanksgiving. I remember you. I gave you a close-up. You were great. Boy, he's a superb actor, so naturalistic. But he's been studying and training. And I said to them, do you guys want me to direct you as kids or adults? And they were like, no, direct us as adults. I'm like, okay, I'm going to direct you the way I would direct Kate Blanchett or Jack Black or anybody that I work with, no different. And I'm going to say like this, and this is what I expect. And they were incredible. Then you surround with other, the teenager actors, which was Sarah Abbott and Dylan Hocko, who are so fantastic. Dylan, I can't announce, I don't know if this will be announced when this airs, but he has an incredible role. He's gonna blow up. And Sarah already just shot The Body for Ryan Murphy, and now she's in Lauren Unrich's show, Poser. I mean, they're amazing. And then I got to pull in my friends from Thanksgiving.
And then you make yourself in there a little bit. And that's not something you do in every one of your movies anymore.
No.
I think you kind of pick and choose your moments.
I do. I don't want to be the director that puts himself in every movie just because you could have cast an actor. But I actually thought, I wrote this part thinking this would be really fun to play.
You pulled it off very well, sir.
Thank
I
you.
will say, even though, the director, I will say, to that actor, that guy you got to play, that was all right.
He's not bad. But also, I cast Karen Cleach as my wife. But first, because I'm casting someone who's going to play my son, and then first we cast Sarah, now I got to find the brother, and then, okay, now that we have those two, I know Karen will work great. But then, Amanda Barker, who got cut in half in the diner, she plays Elliot's mom, and the teacher played Mrs. Byers, who gets mad at Evan about it stealing her plagiarizing work. She's the teacher. She's one of the elementary school teachers, Mrs. Valentine.
Really?
Who's like, get away from me, you little shits, when they throw the brick at her. So just finding all these people, and Jordan Poole, who is terrific. He's the umpire. So, and also these kids, I had done this VR short, Trick VR Treat, and Luke Dietz, Ivano DeCaro, there were so many kids that I had worked with. And this little girl, Charlie Story, who's one of the girls when Grandpa gets his face impaled in Thanksgiving, they're like, Grandpa, wake up! The little girls, the younger sister, she was Piper.
Oh, so there's a lot of Thanksgiving crossover.
Oh, there's a ton of them. Basically, Haley Kiddo, when Chad shows
I didn't recognize them because they're older now. I'm not going to lie to you, they were so young when they were Thanksgiving.
Well, there's actors, that's why they say there's no small parts, there's only small actors. Yeah. And when you have an actor that can come in for one day and just wants to steal the movie, that's when you get the gems.
Fair.
Like every scene is fun because you're like, that teacher was great, that teacher was great. They were so fun. Even if they're coming in for a day, they just nail it. And they're so great and so memorable. Like Haley Kittle is the sweetest person. I was like, I don't really have anything Thanksgiving, but what if like when Chad lifts up his abs, you want to go, oh, and then after class, you're like, oh, and she's very funny and she just does it with a smile on her face. So I was like, Haley, do you want to be like, you're kind of the assistant teacher and you're on the phone, you're crying, and then the kids are going to drag you out in the hall and they're going to hack you to pieces, and then they're going to do a taffy pull where they split your body apart. And she's like, great.
Absolutely.
Then I'd done the fake trailer for The Piano Killer where I dropped a piano on her, but we already had a fake body for Haley. So we're like, let's just use the body from Piano Killer that we dropped the piano on. So I'm like, I'm thinking about what actors do I know? Whose body parts have I already cast?
I was going to say, who have I cut up already?
And then when you're doing it, like there's a shorthand and it's easy. And then when Haley made, I was like, Haley, you're all over the commercial. Like you're the trailer. It's like, because her look was so good when she was terrified, screaming, like, what are you doing? It was so real. And that was one day and she was we had to put her in sweater because of the hiding the tubes. You have to put long sleeves on. It was 105 degrees. She was melting and she just did it with a smile on her face. So, you can do that little thing that you never know what it's going to lead to because now every trailer has her and it's really helping her career.
And the Red Band one in particular has gone incredibly viral. We only have a couple minutes left and I wanted to talk to you about this because, listen, there's only so many things you can bludgeon, cut, kill people with. But I do feel like with you in particular, considering that you did play the Bear Jew in Inglourious Basterds, anytime you choose to put a baseball bat in one of your movies, you have to think about it a little bit more than the average prop. Is this true?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I
resisted the baseball bat for a long time, but we're starting off in Little League, and I just thought he would have the bat. It makes sense that in this world, but it's also the perversion. In the beginning of the movie, at the Little League game, you see the kids playing pin the tail on the donkey. You see them jumping rope. You see them playing baseball. And later, they're using knives going pin the knife in the teacher. And they're jumping rope with intestines. Mm-hmm. And he's bashing in his dad's face with a baseball bat. So, it was more the idea of taking the things that were innocent and sweet and could be used for fun and turning them into, weapons of death.
I love it. I literally thought about that. I was like, this was a discussion with the prop master. I know it was because he's like, if I'm going to do a bat, I'm going to do it the right way.
Matthias did a great job. And I told him, I was like, my standards for bashing someone's head in with a baseball bat are extremely high, Matthias. He's like, I know. I know, I'm going to do it. Don't worry. Like, great look on his face and a great swing. He was ready.
And it looks great in the movie when folks get a chance to see it. Before I get out of here too, as a man that is known for twisting and gore, can I get your top 5 kills? Like, what are your top 5 kills on screen?
There are so many kills that it's hard to name. You can think of like the pencil in the ankle in Evil Dead. Like you almost have to think of it as like the first time.
But this is to me more important than your like favorite 4 films. Like your top 5 kills has got to be more iconic. I feel like this is something that we got to know.
Okay, if we're really thinking about the movies where I just went like, okay, it's not something the one that really stumped me in how they did it, that I thought they really killed the person, was the Pale Impalement in Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, wow.
And to the point where I had to sit down with Ruggero Deodato and like ask him how they did, and he got brought up on murder charges for that. So you watch it and it's legitimately uncomfortable to watch, because no matter what, if that's someone dead, it's disturbing. If that's someone alive, it's disturbing. And it was like a wardrobe girl, and they put a bamboo pole in her mouth, and she sat there on a bicycle seat. They just bring her into court to prove that is that it's not like you enjoy that kill, but that kill is one that I was legitimately
That's the one that made you be like, I need to figure out how to do this.
I was just like, I'd never seen anything like it. It's like the torture scene in Audition, like is one, but that's not a kill scene because he lives through it.
I mean, but that's close.
I will say, for me, the one kill that I was just like, chapeau, that I couldn't believe, was in Pieces, which is the Spanish movie that's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff where a guy's making a human jigsaw puzzle. The killer's going, Juan Piquer Simon, the killer, and it's all shot, it's all like dubbed in English. They tried to trick you into thinking it's an American film. It's not. It uses Stelvio Cipriani's score from Un Hombre en la Alhambra. It stars Ian Serra, who's a Spanish actor, Jack Taylor, who worked a lot in Spain. And there's a scene where a girl is being chased through the locker room with a chainsaw, and the guy comes in. First, it's low budget because they're really like running a live saw, missing her head by inches to get out of the way as he comes through the door. And he just sideswipes and goes right through and cuts in half. And it's like an incredibly realistic, disturbing scene.
I haven't seen Pieces, so I've seen The Cannibal. That was a DVD that got passed around in middle school.
Cannibal Holocaust banned in hundreds of countries. That was like, I'm trying to think of like Killer Kid. You gave me some good ones. Those are good ones. Those are the like top 3. We'll say top three kills, and you gave me some good ones. Well, but that's only 2. If we're gonna.
Oh yeah, because you didn't do Audition because they did.
Well, Audition, the torture scene in Audition, the needles in the eyes are so good, but he does live through it. But it's still like one of those things that I just thought, I was just like, I'd never seen anything like it.
You can pick one of yours.
Then like the classic is the decapitation, the glass decapitation. In Quint's death, of course, but like the glass decapitation in Omen, when the glass pane comes out and cuts, and they just cut to the multiple angles in slow motion. That's like one of those things I saw as a kid. You're waiting the whole movie for it. Everyone in the neighborhood has described it to you, and you see it, and you're just like, this is one of the greatest. That's when
I'm literally getting nauseous, so I think you picked the right one.
Jump. And then there's Sleepaway Camp. There's a lot of great ones.
I dig that. Well, we do have to get out of here because you've got more terrifying ice cream to preview to other folks out there.
I do, here on National Ice Cream Day.
Yeah, this should go live on National Ice Cream Day, so I think that hopefully you guys are doing some other scares. Also, I didn't get a chance to talk to you about your horror anthology. I wanted to talk to you about so many stuff, but I'm glad we got to deep dive into some of your favorite horror stuff. So
we'll do it next time. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Pleasure.